Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I will be discussing my book review of the book Metal Swarm by Kevin J. Anderson. If you've been following along on my channel, you'll know that I have been reading along with this series called the Saga of the Seven Sons for several months now. This is book 6 out of 7 books, and I have really had a wonderful time. I thought that each successive book has gotten better. I thought that the first book, Hidden Empire, was a decent start, but needed a lot of work with the characters. I thought that book 2 was a significant step up, but needed more action. I thought book 3 was a step up in the writing style and characters and themes, but not as much in the action. I thought book 4 tied up all the unnecessary plot lines and set the series towards its finish line. And book 5 wrapped up one of the big story arcs in a really epic climactic way. And it really felt almost like a series finale type of a book. But we find out at the end of the book there's another big bad out there that our heroes have to fight against. And that led into Metal Swarm. All of these books have been fantastic. This is the first time that the series took a step down. The other books got better until book 5, which was just superb, the only really great book in the series. And I thought book 6 was a good book, but it wasn't as amazing. What this book does, it actually explores themes and characters, which is really unique for Kevin J. Anderson. He's usually a plot-only guy. He usually focuses exclusively on his plots, and his characters are just there to work his plots and his magic system and his world building. That's what it normally is. I like him for that. A lot of people hate him for that. But he actually gets into characters in this book because he's doing setup a lot. So he's setting up the chess pieces. It's like a chessboard, and he's setting everything up for the final showdown, for the end game. And in this book, he allows the characters to breathe, to have moments, to have good character developments. There is a new original character named Admiral Sheila Willis, and she is a superb addition. Oftentimes, I talk about how the new additions to each book are actually sometimes the most fun parts of the new books. For sure, Sheila Willis, the Admiral, was the best part of this book. Anytime she was on the page, I should say, I was hooked. I had to find out what happened. She is the one EDF military leader, who actually has a good moral compass. And she's the one person to question Chairman Wenceslas's authority. And she actually has good character development in this book. I was really happy with it. We also have a second character who is not a new character, but he's newer in the series. He only appeared in the last couple books, and that is the character of Kolker. Kolker is this green priest character who has been observing the Eldirans, and he is so fascinated by their thism. And the whole book, he is trying to connect with the thism to try to understand it better. And it is absolutely brilliantly written. It adds themes about understanding new cultures, new religions, new ways of lives, understanding people who are so different from you. It's just superbly done. I was really impressed with the way that Kevin wrote that character and that whole subplot. A lot of my other favorite subplots got plenty of time. The one thing that this book does that I didn't get to write in my written review that I wrote on Goodreads is that a lot of the plot lines are coming together because a lot of the characters are all meeting in the setup for the final chess move. And so it feels like there's fewer branches, and it feels like everything's coming to this great big climactic center where everything's coming. And it was just entertaining getting to see, oh, that character from this plot line and that character, they're converging. I love seeing that. When characters I love from this side and this side get to come together and work together, or they have a quick interaction. Sometimes it was this character would have like a quick conversation. There's a conversation between Relinda Kett and Saren in this book, and I was like, ooh, that's an interesting pairing. And then there's also a series of conversations between Peter and Astara and Tasia Tamblyn, which is also really interesting to me. And so you get to see characters who ordinarily, like, for a while, Peter and Astara only ever interacted with Wenceslas and maybe McCammon. But really, there weren't many people that they could interact with. Now, they have this huge slew of characters that they can talk to and interact with, and I really enjoyed it. There is some action in this book, and most of the best action is with the Sheila Willis character, but there's action in other moments, which is really good. Kevin has said that he thinks that the character of Jess Tamblyn is he's the true hero of this series, and I get it. And maybe book 7 will change my mind on this, but really I view it as a family. I really think that the Tamblyn family and the family from Thurrock, that has Astara, Saren, and Selly, and Benito, and all of those, those two families are like the core cast, and that's the core backbone of the series. All those family members are good characters in bad situations. If I was to compare this to another series, it's a lot like Game of Thrones. I would say that the Thurrocks and the Tamblyns are basically the Stark family, but in two different bigger families. So I really enjoyed reading this book, but it's not as good as A Fire and Night. A Fire and Night is a solid, epic showdown book, and this is a setup book, which is fine. And the series needed it if it's going to deal with the fallout. He could have changed a few things in A Fire and Night and made this the finale, but he said, "Oh no, you think that was the epic finale? Wait till you see with what I got for book 7." So that actually makes me really excited to read book 7. I will plan to read it next month, although with my reading habits recently, I don't know how it'll go. But for sure, I enjoyed this one quite a lot. I'd give it a 8.3 out of 10. Not superb, but quite well done. So if you've read this book, let me know in the comments your thoughts. If you've been reading this series with me, I'd really like to know. I don't know if anyone's actually picked it up because I said so. I think people picked up the first book. I don't know if anyone's picked up the entire series. But if you have any thoughts, let me know in the comments section down below. And until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.